In this episode of Real Chemistry, we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to show you how to make a graph in Excel and add a best fit line to it. And that's a common thing you need to do after you've collected data in the laboratory. So if you're using Excel, the first thing you need to know is that if you're making a y versus x graph, you want to put all of your x values first. So right here, we can see in the Excel spreadsheet that it's broken up into columns, A, B, C, so forth, and rows, 1, 2, 3. And we always want to have our x values in the column to the farthest to the left. And in this case, what I have is a series of masses. So I'm going to write mass right here, and I'm also going to put the units. And that's just going to keep track of what it is I'm putting in this column. And so I've collected the value for 3 different masses, 3.67 grams, 2.85 grams, and 0.74 grams. To enter things into these squares, all you do is just click on the square you want to enter it in and then start typing. And so now I have the x values that I'm going to plot, the masses, and now I want to put in the y values, which turn out to be volumes in this case. So I'm going to put volume and then milliliters in parentheses for the units. And similarly, I'm going to enter in 3 values here. And now we have all the values we want to plot. If you have more values, that's fine. You can just add them. And to make a graph, all you're going to do is click in one of the boxes. So I'm going to click in this top left box here, and I'm going to press and hold down my mouse button. And then I'm going to drag it across all the values I want to plot. Then I'm going to go up top to Insert. And then I'm going to go over to the right to Charts here. And you'll see this one little box with all these dots in it. Click on that. And then click again on this plot here. And that's making a scatter plot. And so now we've inserted our scatter plot. And you can see these 3 data points here. And those correspond to the x and y values I've put in over here. So the first thing we're going to want to do is just add some axis labels and label our chart. So I go up top to Quick Layout. So up in the top left here, if you click Quick Layout, and then you click this top guy right here, it gives you boxes that you can put all your axes labels in, as well as your chart title. So in this case, our y-axis, the one that's going up and down, is our volume. So I'm going to write volume. And then in parentheses, I'm going to put our units, milliliters. And then our x-axis is mass. And then I'm going to put in parentheses grams for our units. You always want to have axes labels and units whenever you make a chart in the laboratory. And the chart title here, I'm going to put y versus x. So in this case, since I'm graphing volume versus mass, I'll put volume versus mass. And that's always the convention, that if I write something versus something else, I put my y variable first, which in this case is volume. So now I have my graph nicely labeled. The one last thing you might want to do is you see this series dot over here, and you can just go ahead and delete that. So if you click on it and click delete, you can get rid of that. Okay, now we're going to add a trend line. And a trend line is really useful because it'll give you an equation that relates your 2 variables. So in this case, it's going to be an equation that relates a mass to a volume. So I click on any one of these dots, and then I right click, and I click Add Trend Line. And now, when I click Add Trend Line, it's going to go ahead and put a line here that you can see, and it's going to open this box over here to our right. And there's all these trend line options. Almost always you want the linear fit line, and that's usually what's checked right away. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see Display Equation on Chart. Go ahead and check that box, and Display R squared value on chart. And go ahead and check that box. And then you can just close this box out. And so here we have our graph of volume versus mass. So this is the way that you can graph any sets of data you want in Excel and apply a best fit line and get out an equation of best fit. Thanks for watching this episode of Real Chemistry. Please subscribe to get updates about my new videos, or visit my channel to see a bunch of videos that help you with solving chemistry problems.